Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Here are your hosts, Jmann and Danny, the Midwest motherfuckers. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
I'm Danny.
And we're back. And since the last time that you heard from us, we went ahead and got legit.
Kinda.
Legit enough is we finally got our new podcast hosting service.
We're paying money now to do this. So we'd appreciate some feedback. Like subscriptions and likes, follows, whatever the case may be.
Not feedback like, kill yourself, because that's a Seth move, and fuck Seth.
You have kind of feedback though, like, yeah, you guys suck, or you should do this, you should do that.
So our new page is at whatdowecallitpodcast.libsyn.com. And that will give you access to the latest 6 episodes. We can't upload anything new until at least the 1st of March. And the way that the memory is allotted is we get 250 megabytes a month. And then we probably can turn that into 6 or 7 episodes depending upon the length of them.
And the more people that listen, the more episodes we'll put out. So, I mean, if we eventually get a shitload of people listening, we'll put out more shit.
To crank out some premium content. So what do you have for topics?
Well, it's fucking getting nice outside. So that means spring is quite close. Like, it's the first spring activity I can do any day now, which is tapping my maple trees in my yard.
You're super stoked for that, aren't you?
Yes, I ran out of maple syrup last week. I had to get more from my parents because they have a shitload. They only had 2 trees too, but they have a lot of syrup from last season. So that's fun.
That seems kind of like a Canadian problem.
It is kind of, what do you mean, not having maple syrup?
We are all out of maple syrup. What are we going to do?
Dude, it's fucking the best maple syrup ever. Because it's not from the goddamn store. It's not high fructose corn syrup. And I made it myself. Everything you make yourself is better. Like honey. Which, that's coming, well, not the honey part, but the bee part's coming up this pretty soon here too. I gotta order bees this month. They're
so
fucking expensive now.
What you're learning here is that Danny makes his own maple syrup. He is a beekeeper.
I geek out on some stuff.
And then he also is a snake and lizard enthusiast.
And mushrooms.
Right, but I think we covered that.
Not those
already.
Mushrooms, like edible, legitimate edible, going out in the woods, looking, foraging. That season's coming out too, which is fun. Morel mushrooms and...
I had 3 bags of mulch that I bought at Menards this summer, and then I didn't use them. And then, like, they just got moist over the months of August and September. And I should show you this hunk of yellow shit that grew off the outside of one of the bags. It might be a mushroom.
It could very well be.
It had like structural integrity. It wasn't like actual mushroom shape. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Did something spill from up top? And I'm like, no, it's like yellow and disc-like. This is interesting. I kind of like batted it off of there, but it's still out there if you want to see.
There's all kinds of crazy shapes and colors they come in. Like, it's to actually identify mushrooms, you really need a big book, unless you know what you're looking at. And there's like 4 or 5 species that most people hunt because it's painfully obvious what they are. A morel looks like a morel. A chanterelle looks like a chanterelle. A hen of the woods, there's nothing that looks like a hen of the woods or a chicken of the woods. They're very distinctive. But then there's some other ones too that have deadly relatives. Like, you can eat this one, but the one that looks just like it, except for one little thing different, that'll kill you if you so much as look at it.
You know what you should do is, if somebody hasn't already done this, is you should create an app where you snap a photo of a mushroom and that helps you identify it.
I think they've already done that.
Fuck them. It's so hard to be original.
But spring, it's fucking... This is probably the first podcast where I'm not shivering.
Yeah.
If you ever noticed in the past podcasts where my voice sounds shaky, that's because I'm freezing my dick off in this dungeon.
This is going to become a recurring... Buddy, shut the fuck up! God damn that cat. What's next on your docket of notes?
Did you see the assholes protesting? A new trend in protesting apparently is shutting down the freeway.
Yeah, the fucking janitors?
Yeah, the janitor. There's a whole... It wasn't even like a single group of people. It was like 4 different unions, 4 different organizations of dickheads that were protesting. The SEIU Local 26, which is the janitors. the St. Paul Federation of Teachers, the Neighborhood Organizing for Change, a whole bunch of dumbasses taking to the streets to shut down traffic for their cause. Because their cause is apparently the only cause that matters.
When I was watching the news and then I saw that they those janitors wound up on the freeway, I'm like, look what these fucking Black Lives Matters cunts started.
The Neighborhood Organizing for Change, they were calling for temp agencies that hire target field staff to end the wage theft and predatory hiring practices. What the fuck does that mean anyway? I understand the wage theft. So like, really, these employees are getting paid, from the company that's hiring the temp service. They're getting paid like $25 per hour per person, but the person actually working is only getting like $10 per hour.
Finder's fees, operating costs.
Right.
They'll rule it as part of the business model.
I'm sure the agency is making twice as much, but you know what? That's kind of a give and take of going to a temp agency. You aren't going out and searching for jobs on your own. All you gotta do is go to this one building, fill out a bunch of paperwork one day, which kind of sucks, but then you just sit at home and wait for the phone call.
Right.
They fucking send your shit everywhere.
And then if you're going to get dispatched, air quotes, you have to come in and sign some paperwork.
Yeah. You don't have to do jack shit. Right?
I don't understand why so many of these, like Boston Scientific and shit, and all these companies that go through temp services. What the fuck? You know who goes to temp services a lot? Unskilled laborers. Why wouldn't you want to have people that know what the fuck that they're doing, and you pay them $2 or $3 more an hour, and you get quality staff, and it's not a revolving door of hiring and firing?
Yeah, it's temp agencies are ridiculous. Like, I had to go through one for a little while, and I would show up at a job, and within a couple hours, there would be people that quit already. They would go through straight volume of people. The last company I worked for through the temp agency was Brokema, and I was there almost a year, and I seen probably 30 temps come through in just my area, which my area contained 6 guys.
Jesus.
So do the math on that.
That was the forklift job, right?
No, that was the vulcanizing rubber job in Pine City. They had 3 guys that were full-time, and then like the area supervisor. And then the rest of us were temps. And I was like the only temp from a year prior.
Jesus.
And then I was about to get hired on. But
that city and I have history, so I have to acknowledge. I always have to throw in like, well, that was your first problem, was Pine City.
Yeah, fuck Pine City.
Fucking dragons. Fuck Pine City and fuck Rush City. They can both fuck themselves.
Yes, exactly.
Those two arguing over who sucks more is like 2 skanks at a Denny's arguing over who's going to suck the most cocks that night.
We should probably shed a little light on why we're so anti-Rush City, Pine City. Fuck both of them, but it's an ongoing rivalry on the radio.
On the half-ass morning show. So those 2 townspeople from the towns texting, like, oh, Pine City sucks because of this. And I'm like, here's the deal, all right? You're both podunk shithole exurbs, and Pine City has a fucking Walmart, and Rush City has a prison. Yeah. So, I mean, eventually you're going to get out of prison, right? And nobody will hire you, but probably Walmart will. So, I mean, really, it's cyclical. You two need each other. You're the yin to each other's backwater fucktard yang.
And speaking of 93X, I just want to tell them thanks again for another shout-out this morning. Did we already cover that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that was a shout-out to you this morning from the podcast.
That I didn't get to hear. Like, I look at my phone on my break, and he's like, oh, gonna be a shout-out. And then the next text, bam! And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? He's like, on the radio. I'm like, well, yeah, but where? He's like, oh, Fast Morning Show. I said this. And it was a shout-out to Correctional Officer Jesus from, what do we call it, Podcast Jesus.
So here's another thing that our listeners could do. Anytime in the morning, what do they run, 5 to 9?
5:30 to 9.
Central time.
Yeah.
Text 68683 and just give a shout out to the What Do You Call It podcast.
You have to start your text with Nick, Josh, or Allie. Just start it with Josh because he's most likely to say something.
He's most reliable, yes. I'd say 98% of the time I text in, he reads it. So
I don't send my good grade A material to Nick because, I mean, he fucking has Wapple and Ross read his shit and decide anyway. And Ross has hooked me up on a couple of contests, like I won tickets to a Twins game for having the best piss off my parents story for Father's Day a few years back. So I got to take my dad to go see the Twins play the Red Sox. My one and only trip to Target Field. I never need to go there again.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to one game. It was cool to see, and that was it.
And then there was text a dedication to your penis, and I won tickets to Steel Panther at the X-Girl finale. That was like 2-3 years ago.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've really ever won anything from them. you know, it's easy to win if you listen to like late night talk radio.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes during Halloween they give away some cool shit, but nobody fucking listens to it. So I won like twice in a row one night, dude. I had to use my little brother's name just because I wasn't sure if they had rules about the same person winning.
Like NPR or what?
No, fuck no. I don't listen to that. It was KTLK, and it was Darkness Radio actually. Which they're actually a little more of a popular show. It's paranormal, UFOs, aliens, shit like that. Bigfoot.
See, when you said darkness, it just made me think of the Charlie Murphy thing from Chappelle's show, where God, what was it? Where Rick James had always referred to Eddie Murphy's brother Charlie like darkness. Oh. I think of that shit.
Right. No, I won a DVD from the new Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I won passes to one of the haunted houses at the time.
Like the haunted hay rides? Or...
I think it was Buck Hill one, yeah.
Probably one of the ones that they say they're going to pay these high school kids decent wages and they make them stay out in the cold till fucking 1 a.m. and then they leave town and don't pay anybody and it's on the news. There was like 3 of those this year. What a fucking rickshaw. Anybody can apparently just attempt to make a corn maze and a spooky haunted house hayride thing, and then you just hire some dumb high school kids that don't know any better and work them like indentured servants, and then you don't pay them.
Some kind of insurance too. It's probably a flat rate.
Maybe.
$1,400. Well, think about it. They pull in a shitload of money at that time of year. If they only got to pay the $1,400 once, they make that back first day if they're good.
You know what it reminds me of? How well do you remember Sesame Street's Follow That Bird? The Big Bird movie?
No, I was never too into... I vaguely remember being into Sesame Street, and I feel like I never really watched it, though.
Oh. So in the movie...
I always wanted to watch it, but...
There's these 2 brothers that run like a fucking roadside traveling carnival, and they rip people off like left and right. They're always like making the ride time shorter and rigging the games and shit. And they basically just reminded me, all these haunted hayrides that were ripping off their employees and then skipping town like, fuck you, was like those 2 brothers. And then they kidnap Big Bird and then they paint him blue. And he's their new attraction. So everybody from Sesame Street's trying to find out what happened to Big Bird. And then they realize there's this traveling carnival with the big giant 8-foot-tall blue bird.
Oh, but that's not Big Bird. He's blue.
Right. Like no one's going to figure that shit out. Speaking of Sesame Street, so I'm at Target with the girls like a week and a half ago, right? And we did our shopping, and I let them look at movies, which was stupid because obviously I'm not going to buy them any. And I let them look at toys, which was, you know, just what I get. If I'm going to get the rest of the time to go comfortable and smooth, I have to let them get it out of their system for like 10 minutes. So we've been in the store for about 40 minutes at this point, and I just want to fucking go home and lay on the couch. But I got to piss. Well, at Walmart, the bathroom doors, like the entrances are wide open. Like it's an open air entrance. You can hear. I can park the cart right next to the goddamn door and just go in and piss because I'm like 20 feet away. Well, I'd already bought my shit and I didn't want to leave them in the cart with stuff. So there's like the family bathroom, which is just a room unto itself next to the regular bathroom. I just wheeled the cart in there. Well, the problem is that, you know, I had to piss. So obviously I had to sit down to do this so they're not like watching me go. And I'm sitting there and I'm kind of just... Have you ever had like a kid come into the bathroom and you're like, I gotta hide my dick when you're on the toilet? You ever deal with that?
No.
Not with, how many years you were with the chick with the kids?
No.
Okay.
They knock.
I wish mine would knock. And they're in the cart, and I had the cart like away from me, and they were talking to each other, and suddenly the oldest looks at me, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, shut up! I'm peeing. Just look over there. And she starts laughing. I'm like, look away. Because it's bad enough being in a bathroom with 2 little kids, but then they're watching you pee. You
concealed it better if you just stood and pissed?
No, because then she would have asked how I'm doing that. And I have to create the illusion that there's no difference between males and females.
Are you telling me that whenever your kids are here and you have to go to the can, you sit every time?
Every fucking time, so that they don't accidentally run in and see my dick.
Oh,
I don't want to have that conversation.
You're fucking your kids up.
No, I'm trying to not fuck them up. That's the thing.
Yeah, but now they think that men squat to piss.
That's okay. I don't care about that. Plus, my dad had this weird rule in the house growing up. He's like, you're not going to stand up and piss all over the floor.
Some kindergartner is going to fucking scar your kid.
Probably. I worry about their mom's roommate's kid. He's going to whip it out in class
and just write his name on the floor. And she's going to be...
Well, he does that. I'm getting like thousands of dollars in a lawsuit because these days any exposure to any bit of a peignoir and it's like, ka-ching! So I'm sitting in there and at one point I'm like, don't look at it! Don't look at me! Don't look at me! Look away. Look away. So I'm holding my dick down with my left. This is in the span of 30 seconds. I'm holding it down with my left hand, and I'm trying to block her view with the right. And then I started like pushing her face away and pushing her face away. And then here's the problem when you're doing that, is because you got to stand up and hope they don't see it. I've gotten pretty good at just the right amount of tuck and squeezing my legs and then quick pulling up my underwear so I can get to my pants. It's if you have little girls, you're just like, God, I don't want them to see my penis because then they might ask questions about it. And like, I don't want to have this conversation. You're 5 and 3, so you should shut the fuck up for like 20 years. Could you do that? Could you do that and then also both grow up the chow box? Because I really don't want to have to explain this to you.
I'm so glad I don't have kids.
It sucks.
This is one of the reasons why I'm not going to have kids. I don't have to deal with that.
That was why I had to bring them both in there. That's right. It's because the oldest one had to pee, so I have to like sit there and hold her so she hovers over the public toilet and doesn't touch the sides and get like MRSA on her hands or shit.
Well, you're not in a hospital, so I doubt it's going to be MRSA.
I don't know. Well, around these parts, who fucking knows? And then the youngest one, I can't just like leave her in a cart by herself outside the door because she's a white baby. Someone might steal her.
You should have knocked up somebody you got along with, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was the most well thought out plan. But
who would have thought you would have kids and not me?
Right.
Irony.
Well, that's the thing is, though, even if you knock up somebody that you like, there's no guarantee that's going to work out.
No.
Like, my parents should have probably gotten divorced like 25 years ago. I don't know why they're together.
Old school code.
It must have been, I don't know, because with my sister, when she was alive, I figured my dad just stayed around because my mom couldn't take care of my sister by herself.
See, nobody in my family's gotten divorced, so if I were to get married, I'll be damned if I'd be the first one to get divorced.
Well, no, you'd have to make it look like a murder or a suicide.
Yeah.
And then blame it on Latinos or something. I don't know.
Street gangs.
So my folks who, like, once my sister died, I was like, oh, this might be it. This might finally be it. And I forget what they were fighting about one time, but I was at their house, and I go to the bathroom, and I come out, and they were, like, really quiet. I'm like, what? And my mom's like, your father and I are getting a divorce. Here's my reaction. I just looked at her and said, fuck you. What happened this time, Linda? And then she's like, he talks so horribly to me. I'm like, gee, I can't imagine why he would ever be so angry at you over the constant nagging and bitchery that he would unleash a tirade of expletives to try to put you in your place for his own defense. No, I could never see eye to eye with that mentality. I'm like, you're fucking lucky that one of us hasn't killed you in your sleep. You goddamn constant stupid question. Have you ever had your mom ask you a question that starts with, can I ask you a question without you getting mad?
No.
What kind of fucking
my
setup
mom
is
could
that?
give a fuck less if I'm mad.
It's always...
You know my mom, dude. She's a gangster.
Yeah, well, I've never really seen your mom get too pissed off except when she was, like, discussing the fuckery of her former employer. That was it. She'd get, like, a little, like, oh, it fucking makes me so mad. Never really have I seen your mom get super hot about you. My mom, all my friends that have met her are just like, dude, she's fucking nuts. She is always pissed off and always yelling. And like, so that my natural speaking voice is comparable to most people raising their voice. So if I'm talking on the phone, sometimes people are like, why are you yelling? I'm like, who's yelling? You are. No, I'm not. I'm talking about something I'm passionate about, and I'm in my car, so I'm sure my voice is going to echo off the window next to me. I'm driving with my left hand and talking with my right. But my mom, goddamn, I don't understand why they're together, because he's going to retire in a year and a half. And I've joked about how he's going to be over here constantly, like fixing shit and doing projects.
He's going to build our studio.
I don't know if he knows a goddamn thing about that, but he can definitely give it a whirl. Give the old college try.
Put some sheetrock out.
Well, that also involves my money, which there'd have to be more of.
Dude, you just go get all the materials from the construction site.
Right. Nobody sees like 8 sheets of fucking drywall. They're all going to be like a tie-down strap to the top of a Ford Fusion.
As soon as the wind catches it, snaps that shit off.
Well, first off, that's technically illegal to drive with shit strapped to the top of a vehicle around these parts. You know, I can't tell you how many times when I worked at Home Depot, I'd be like, no, you can't do that. What do you mean? No, we can't do that. It's illegal. Like, I can't help you load it up there because you'll get pulled over, so I'm not going to do it.
I seen some jackasses load up like 2-inch thick of that pink styrofoam insulation.
Oh, God.
Into the roof of his car. I didn't get to see him take off on the highway, but I know that fucker had it snapped in half. I don't know how strong that pink shit is, but you get 60, and it like overhung the windshield. So
yeah, so the wind's going over the hood and up the fucking windshield and just...
It was just going to snap that fucker
What
right
a
away.
dumbass.
Good Mexicans. Kind of par for them, I guess.
Why were they buying insulation? You don't use that for roofing.
I don't know, and they only had one
Racism.
sheet of it. There's only one sheet, too. I don't know what they're going to do.
Maybe this should... That, my calling out my own racist joke, should be the lead into the topic that we discussed. Why do people act like words hurt?
We're going to start that right now.
Why not? We were kicking that idea around. We might as well fucking go into it. We didn't have a plan anyway, so...
Yeah, well, I just don't get why people get so goddamn butthurt over the simplest shit. Like, words hurt them like that. Words physically have fucking ruined this person's life. And I see it all the time. Even if it's not just words, it's... Well, yeah. Whether it's words like bitch, cunt, whatever, nigger, words like that, or tone in words. Like, I've had homeowners straight lose their shit because you're telling them that they can't do something with the floor a certain way. And they physically look like you just hit them in the face. I don't get it. You know, why are you so hypersensitive to something that doesn't...
Well, it's something that they don't have control over. So they've got that mindset, like, it has to be done this way. This is what I want it to be done. But then you've got the experience, and then you've got to tell them, well, look, I know that's what you want, but I don't think it's going to work out that way. And we could try it, but it'd be a colossal waste of time. And I'm telling you that from a spot of experience, not just my opinion. I'm not winging it here.
So this last week, it just kind of fits perfectly. I had to go and do a tear out. We were going to put new floor in. And it was an old-ass house. Like, I don't know exactly how old, but I found a nickel. That was V-nickel? That's what it's called. I think it was like 1911.
Okay.
Under the floor. This floor was so fucked up, like, the joists were coming away from the foundation. Ooh. We ended up getting pulled off the job because they have to, that's like serious structural shit. Like, you could bounce up and down in the entryway, and it kind of acted like a trampoline a little bit, like their floor.
Might need to add a support beam or two.
Right. So, this guy, I guess, as soon as they started telling him that we couldn't do it, he started losing his shit, crying.
Was he a fucking slumlord and he was going to rent this house out for like tons of money or what?
He's a silly Sally. A flamboyant.
Oh, you mean he's a homosexual?
Yes. Why? I just don't get their reactions. You know?
Well, even if we would have just called him gay, there's people who'd be like, you shouldn't call him gay. Yeah. That's the fucking word!
Yeah.
What did we just have a goddamn vote on in this state a year and a half ago? Gay marriage. It wasn't called homosexual marriage. It was called gay marriage. Because gay is a term to describe them.
And it changes every week, what you can and can't say. Like, what do you want us to say?
Like, if you had been like, oh yeah, this guy he was an old faggot.
Is there anything that...
That's a little bit.
Why? Why though? Who fucking cares? How is that fucking up your day?
It's
just
not,
ignore it.
But I would rather not call gay people faggots and then call people that are acting effeminate faggots. Just like how I would rather call a man a cunt than a woman. Not because I'm worried about offending women with the word cunt, but because men don't expect it and it totally throws them off.
Yeah.
Like, if you get into an argument with next time you do, and it's some guy who's not your dad because he'd probably crush your fucking windpipe, just, if they start saying shit, start giving your rebuttal and then get a little bit loud and a little bit angry, and then at one point just end the sentence with, you cunt. And they'll be like, what?
But the problem is there's a female within earshot, she's gonna cry.
Maybe.
And all of a sudden you're an asshole just for using that word. She don't care if you used it on a man or a woman. She's gonna be upset about it.
Well, it's like I was talking about with the word retard.
Yeah.
All right. My sister was born mentally retarded. She was born in 1971, when you could use the term mentally retarded, and then you wouldn't end up on the fucking news for being this social pariah. It was a medical diagnosis, because the word retard means to slow the process of, or to slow the development of. Now they'll say they went from saying mentally retarded to developmental disability. Now you can't say that anymore. Now they say you have a cognitive disability. And then he wants you to fucking say that. Like, there's no fucking term that's safe enough to talk about people that are mentally handicapped. Like, you don't need to remind them that they're handicapped. Well, no shit. I'm pretty sure they figured it out at this point.
Well, and what's safe about it? What's the difference between this word and that word? They're both words describing something. Is there any word that somebody could say to you that's going to fucking wreck your day? No.
Not really.
No. And same with me. I could give a fuck less what you say. just don't get butthurt if I say it back. You know, it's just unspoken rule.
I get hot at work when the black inmates accuse me of racism.
How come they can call us niggers?
I've heard the word, but I don't think anybody's ever called me like nigga. Like, what up, my nigga? Like,
yeah, I mean they use
hello.
it in an endearing way, but it's not like you can say it back.
I just tell them, I'm like, don't fucking say that word in front of me. Like, you realize you've taken ownership of a word that was developed to demean you, to make you feel lesser than you are, subhuman even, and then you think if you change the suffix on it by switching the ER to an A sound, like you're from Boston or something, like, them niggas over there, does it somehow make it acceptable? Well, we use it as a term of endearment. Well, that's fucking ignorant. I just want you to know that if you want people to start respecting you, start respecting yourselves, don't fucking use that word on you. Think of any other dude. I've told them, call each other dude or man or bro. Call somebody else an asshole. I don't care, because guess what? Everybody can be an asshole. It's not color, sex, gender, or anything exclusive. Everybody can be an asshole.
I got no problem with them owning the word like they have. But you can't own both fucking meanings. Okay? If you can say it that way, we should be able to say it that way. I mean, you can keep both meanings as in, if I say it to you, if I say nigga, and it's fine. But as soon as you put the ER on it, it's fucking bad for everybody. Well, no matter what color you are. You can't say that to your black brother because that's the demeaning end of it. But you can't just fucking have one side of it all good as long as you're the right color, you know?
Right.
If you're gonna say nigga, we can say nigga. God damn it.
I guess. I think that word's so fucking dumb. I even if I had the appropriate opportunity to use it in context.
You want to talk about dumb words?
Really? What? Yeah.
That's not half as bad as the fucking half made up words out there these days.
Well, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. And shut everything down.
Thankfully.
Who in the fuck and where in the fuck did that come from?
Nobody ever called me
I want to scratch my
before.
eyes out every time I fucking see it. No, luckily nobody has ever called me that either. And that would be the only time they would call me that. I'm not talking to them. That's how fucking stupid that word is.
Like, hold on, I have to go to the restroom, and then you just get in the car and you go home, and the date's over, and they're waiting for you to come back.
Well, and the thing is, I can't remember for sure, but the actual term for bae is something fucked up. Like, it's like a...
Oh, fuck, I got the dictionary here still.
Pull out what year was that dictionary?
Ah, Christ, oh, Jesus, now you're going to put me on the spot.
That might actually have the right definition.
97.
BAE. That's how these fuckheads on the internet are spelling it.
I just want to point out that we're using my old college dictionary, not the fucking internet. All right, we're not Googling this shit. We're not looking...
I'm about to.
You can, for Urban Dictionary.
You can hear the feedback from my
Why
phone.
am I on the A's?
It's B. B-A-E.
Right. Apparently it's hurt my brain so bad I couldn't even think what I was doing. Bad, bade, badge, badger, badger, badinage, skip. It goes from badmouth to Baedeker to baffle. Nope, not in the dictionary in 1997.
Alright, well, let's see what Google has to say here. Urban Dictionary. Bae is a Danish word for poop. So every one of you fuckheads on the internet calling your significant other bae, you're saying hi shit. But all of a sudden, let's see, it says, okay, this is Urban Dictionary. Bae is a Danish word for poop. Word used by ghetto people to address their significant other because they have found themselves too lazy to pronounce the entire word babe. That's from straight from the Urban Dictionary. That's not my words.
I love you, bae. Oh, bae, I love you so much.
And what else? Like, hashtag, that word has changed over the years, hasn't it? Because that used to be the number symbol, right?
Yeah, I just used to call it the number symbol.
Yeah.
Or pound.
All of a sudden, pound too. Pound, and now all of a sudden it's hashtag. When the fuck did hashtag come about?
When Twitter ruined life?
Well, I think, yeah, pretty much. I think before that must have been computer programming stuff, right? Coding. Because isn't hashtag, I get the concept. Hashtag something, then it fucking puts it in a file with files.
You know what words always piss me off? Chillax.
Oh, yeah. Hipster words.
When people say that shit, I just want to be like, I hope you fucking fall down the stairs onto a pile of hepatitis C needles.
Chillax. What else was there? Ape shit. I liked ape shit, though.
Yeah, that one's fine. Hella.
Hella. Yeah.
That's hella lame.
Bunk. Bunk was a fun one.
I've used that word a lot. Well, back in high school, we used to call stuff we didn't like gay. It was stupid. It was gay. Right? So then our religion teacher is like, all right, I'm going on sabbatical for 6 months to finish writing my new book. And when I come back, I want you guys to not call things gay anymore. I want you to work on not saying everything is gay. And I liked the guy, so I took it to heart. And ironically, like I was sitting here playing Angry Birds with my kids, and I said something was gay, and my oldest is like, what do you mean? Why is it gay? I'm like, okay, forget that I said that. Because if you repeat that at school, you're going to get so much trouble. But I was like taken aback because my brain has progressed so much since I was 17 years old that I did. If something's like two guys are touching dicks, I'm like, oh, that's kind of gay. It's actually very gay, but still, you get what I'm saying? But like, if you're like, did you see that new
it's all about the context.
Ashton Kutcher movie? So gay. Well, what do you mean? Like he was having sex with another man? No, it was just the script was stupid. It was so gay.
And again, people get hurt when you use it in different contexts.
Well, they're doing it now with the word ghetto. When I went to my high school to fucking visit and see a couple of my old teachers, the guy I was just talking about with the gay thing, he wasn't there that day. He's so fucking baller now that he just shows up for one class at the end of the day, like 3 times a week.
Rough.
No shit. So I see this poster that says, don't use the word ghetto.
Bossy. I want to stop that one too. Bitches be bossy.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I just offended a whole bunch of people though. Just by saying that. Ruined their day. If they would hear that, they would say that Danny's an asshole.
Just because you said someone's bossy.
Bitches. Bossy. 2 words to get you knocked over on a feminist.
Yeah, well, I remember the time that I had to prove, I had to use the online Merriam-Webster dictionary to prove to my mom that cunty was a word. Like, I didn't use Urban Dictionary. I used Merriam-Webster.
What was the real definition for cunty?
It basically explained somebody whose behavior annoys you or something like that. It was like a legitimate definition.
We use it properly all the time then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But,
where the fuck did that... Where did that originate? Where did cunt originate?
England.
Really?
Probably.
Like fuck? Fornication or king's consent?
Sure.
Consent of the king?
Well, pretty much everything that's our culture evolved out of what little culture we brought out of that island after we left there and then came here and murdered all the Indians. So, I mean, you got to kind of attribute some... Everyone's like, oh, it's Latin in origin. You know what? It fucking came from England, all right? Just say England. Fucking everything came from England.
Well, everything came from Latin.
Right. And they used Latin in England. Plus, then they had the Queen's English. But the Roman Catholics did Mass in Latin.
Yeah.
So since they think that, Pangea, when the world was all one giant supercontinent, everybody came from Africa, apparently. So everything, good or bad, at some point came from Africa. So there you go. Stop being mad at them for giving us Ebola and AIDS and Somalia.
So I was having a conversation the other day with a person who's trying to hang on to their religion, even though I think it's quickly. She's being enlightened.
By who?
Me.
Oh, okay. So what religion is she trying to hold on to?
I don't know. It's nothing specific, but she likes the whole idea of Christianity, whatever. It's neither here nor there. But we got into discussing Adam and Eve. Well, if you really want to believe the Bible, aren't we all inbred motherfuckers then? How did they explain that to you growing up?
God took a rib out of Adam.
Right.
So they took that rib and they turned it into Eve. So
right.
Women
Adam and Eve had kids. Cain and Abel, one killed the other. Where did
after that? I don't know.
See, that's
Cain slew Abel.
Yeah. So.
And then I don't know where the fuck any other vaginas came from.
Right. So Cain had to either fuck mom. He had to fuck mom to get another kid.
What if more of that rib shit happened?
There's only mentioned once.
That's making me think of the McRib.
And besides,
women are McRibs.
Where the fuck did they get that from anyway? Oh, God just took the rib, made a woman out of a rib. How the fuck do you make a woman out of a rib? Last I checked, that shit was like a stick.
Well, you
can't just whittle a full-size woman out of a rib.
I think there was meat on it too. It wasn't just like the rib bone, probably.
Well, still, if you
like a riblet.
Either way, it ain't no bigger than a side of beef rib.
Well, how did he somehow...
Beef's got bigger ribs.
How did he make the whole universe and everything?
Yes. For
6 days, and the oceans and all the animals and all this other shit.
And people still hang on to this shit.
And it was only like a couple thousand years ago, and the devil put the dinosaurs here to confuse us and make us doubt God. Because
Or God put them there to test your faith.
what a fucking menagerie.
Faith that always comes back to faith with a religious person.
Kind of.
Whenever you pin them in a corner, they don't care. They have faith. Why is it this way? Because I have faith it is. You can't explain it. You just have faith it is.
Speaking of words, I bumped into a dude from like elementary and junior high at the bar a couple years back. And
so
somebody
you were at
said
the bar?
something. Yeah, I was at the bar. I was sober cabbing that night.
Picking up the old lady.
No, I was hanging out with my friend we call Dickface.
Oh, that's endearing.
Well, we knew too many
He
people.
doesn't cry when you
Matt.
call him Dickface, does he?
No, he doesn't like when we call him Dickface. But
But
then
he doesn't cry about it.
when we introduce him to people, before we can say this is Matt, he's like, "Oh, but they call me Dickface."
I know.
I wasn't gonna fucking tell him that. Thanks, way to go. You just blew your own cover.
I have a lot of buddies that have fuck nicknames that they don't cry about.
Right. So I saw this dude from back in the day. I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Whitey?" And somebody said something.
There's
They're
a
like,
white
"Oh."
at my work. Yeah, I'm crying about it.
It's because his hair's like super blonde. Like
I don't know
white,
why they
right?
call the guy at work whitey. Well, he's pale.
Some-
He's a white dude.
Is he?
He's a real white dude.
That might be part of it.
He's like trailer park white.
Oh shit. So I'm like, "Hey, Whitey," and some guy's like, "Don't talk to him. He's a cop." He's like, No, you leave him alone. This here's a good Catholic boy." And I was like, it made me uncomfortable because I'm like, no, I'm not anymore. You know, maybe don't tell people that. Like it was a weird feeling because calling somebody like you Catholic, it wasn't like you goddamn dirty Catholic. It was just bizarre because when you're not something anymore, you know.
You didn't have a knee-jerk reaction to say Hail Satan or something? Just
No.
to deflect.
I kind of was like mumbling, like, "Well, I'm not anymore. I'm kind of atheist now, so you know." But like, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even gonna acknowledge
I
it.
took science class.
Right. Right.
Outside of the Catholic school.
Like, imagine if you said that to somebody that
took-
left the Hebrew religion.
I
Be
took-
like, well, you probably couldn't say "Hey Jew" because Jew is a word that you describe and slur them with all the other. Like, "Hey you Buddhist," okay, and but just something about that Catholic thing, and it fucking got to me. Just like coming out of a Corporate Avenger concert way back in like I don't know, fucking 02 or 03, and they were very anti-Christian. So one of the guys I went there with, he's like, "Quit fucking acting like you're into them. You went to Catholic school, you Christian." I was like, "Don't fucking call me that." It was just a weird, uncomfortable feeling. Like, don't associate me.
He took all your metal cred away when he did that.
Well, first off, it was a Cottonmouth King show, and Corporate Avenger was playing too, so I wasn't. There was no metal going on that night. It was all fucking bong tokes and hip hop. None for me, because you know.
Because you're not cool.
Because I wasn't into that shit. So then he tried to engage us in a debate about all the messages of Corporate Avengers. Like, shit makes my head hurt. Let's go smoke weed. And I was like, really? Like I refer to women as broads.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get why
Where did
that's
that one
so.
come from?
I don't know, but it doesn't feel pejorative to me.
I remember calling my sister that one time when she was dropping me off at school. So she must have been at least 16. And I was going to elementary school, so I must have been like 5 or 6. And I used it semi-properly, and I thought I was using it like as a compliment.
Right.
I told her she was one tough broad.
The fuck's wrong with that?
She was, I don't remember, must have been older than that. This must have been when she was bodybuilding.
Really?
She didn't like me calling her that.
Oh.
She said that was the equivalent of calling her a bitch. I'm like, wow.
Well, technically, if she's bodybuilding
I'm an
and she
lady.
doesn't like tough broad, I would feel more offended if she thought that you were calling her a dyke. She'd be like, "Hey,
I'm 8 years old, and I probably got that. I think I know I got that from a Bruce Willis movie.
there's that much of an age gap between you two?
Yeah,
Shit."
like 9 years.
And then your younger brother's how many years younger?
3 and 3. 3 between me and the middle, and then 3 between the middle and the youngest.
Huh.
So 6 between me and the youngest.
I'll be goddamned. Yeah, but see, broad, I just... Like, I referred to the female inmates on multiple occasions as a gaggle of cackling broads. And usually the ones I say it in front of, like, know what I mean and they laugh about it. Because I've heard other people be like, "Yeah, because we're just a gaggle of cackling broads, right? Or a bunch of cackling broads." And I'm just, like, caught off guard, like, shit, if you tell people I said that, I could get in trouble. And then the fun has to stop. All right? Because the fun police will come in and PC the shit out of everything that I say. And then you don't get to have any more fun at jail. Because everybody's going to be all fucking prim and proper like a robot. So laugh about it once, and then wait until you get out and tell people I said that shit. Spread the word in the right environment. You're not doing me any good or helping my street cred right now as a comedian by fucking put me on blast around the jail. Come on, dum-dum.
God, your job sucks, dude.
It can suck just a heaping bowl of dicks.
You need to get out of that shithole.
Yeah. My skills are kind of limited at this point.
You need to get a job where you're not working for the government.
I was going to say I'd probably enjoy a job as a park ranger because I wouldn't have to deal with too many people.
That's
but once again, that's the
government.
government. So.
But at least you're not locking people up.
Well, I might be writing citations. Oh, that tent's not regulation, and you've got one too many canoes, and I need to see your boating license, and you've got glass bottles by the campfire, and that's clearly against campfire regulations.
I worked at the gatehouse when I was 16. That was a pretty awesome job.
I don't know what that is.
So, to get in and out of the county parks and stuff, the park can pay.
Okay.
You gotta pay $3 a day, $20 for the season, whatever. I just fucking sold that shit. You know, you gotta make sure that when they're coming in, they pay. So I just sat in this gatehouse all day and did nothing really. If it was raining, I was just sitting there fucking killing time listening to the radio. It was boring as fuck, but I didn't have to do anything. But then on the nice hot days, there was a fucking line of cars.
Right.
Forever. But it wasn't bad for the first job. I'd never do it again, though.
Right. Well, see, years ago, me and my buddy Scotty, he has like a day job and then he's a volunteer firefighter too, and we talked about buying this old building and turning it into a firefighter bar, which is weird because I'm not a firefighter.
Nor a drinker.
Nor a drinker. But it was going to be called Ladder 69.
So it's going to be a gay bar.
No. So there would be a bar on the first level, and then there would be, the middle level would be the strip show. Level 3 would be VIP exclusive, and there would be something referred to as a Dalmatian show.
Oh, Jesus.
Some people might want to see a chick dressed up like Cruella DeVille go to town on a Dalmatian. You don't know. But the best part is if you want to go from floor to floor, you take a fire pole. And
how do you take a fire pole up, dude?
There's stairs for that.
Wow.
But if you don't like the fire pole, there was going to be like a tube slide that went outside the building, and you could just ride that shit. So I could probably go into business for myself that way. If I had like a marketing degree, I could totally do like media relations. That should be easy. Except that my sense of humor, I work blue, so there's not a lot of companies that are rushing to hire somebody that makes a bunch of abortion jokes and shit all day.
You could be a bondsman.
I could, but they don't let you be a skip tracer in this state, do they?
I don't know.
Well, didn't you take that bounty hunter course?
You can skip trace.
Years ago, you were talking about that bounty hunter course.
Yeah, but the laws change every year.
Fuck.
Yeah. You can skip trace anyway. Anybody can skip trace.
Well, yeah, I could just go find out some guy who's skipping on bail and just go knock him out cold and drag his ass in and be like, all right, put the money in my hand.
I don't know how they'd be able to tell you couldn't skip trace. I mean,
you have to have
where
a
the fuck's
license.
that gonna come up? You just ran into the dude. They don't need to know you skip traced into the fucking Motel 6.
There's governance. They try to fucking say, you don't have a license, you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, and now you're going to jail.
Well, that's why you get all your license and ducks in a row, and then you open up your own bonds and service.
That's why winning the lottery
you don't have to work
would be
for a
ideal
bondsman.
for
I wouldn't work for a bondsman. The only way to do it would be to do it on your own. You do it on your own, you're going to get a lot of fucking money per guy.
Oh,
You catch one guy a month and be fucking sick.
Well, unless that one guy is only like a $300 bounty.
Well, yeah.
Then you're eating a lot of ramen noodles.
You just don't deal with those bonds.
You only go for the high buck dudes.
Yeah.
Like, I could get like 6 of these guys that are worth $150, or I could go after one guy that's worth $25,000. I know he's got guns.
Who's, and when you look at it at the end of the day, who's likely to run? The guy out on 300 or the guy out on 50,000? Chances are you ain't gonna have to do shit. You're just putting money up for these fuckers and collecting the interest. I
would just run around with like a taser on one hip and then a giant squeeze bottle, like a mountain bike squeeze bottle of KY jelly. And just whenever they'd run, I'd just squirt the floor. And then I'd tase them.
You'd have to get close enough first.
Be like, yeah, see, you thought I was going to come in here and spray bullets and shit. No, me and the Kentucky jelly just took you down, son.
I don't know what to talk about now.
That went way off track.
Yeah, it's nice that it's not fucking freezing down here.
My toes are still
are going to get a lot better as the temperature is warmer. I don't function well in the cold. I fucking hate cold. Minnesota, I know.
We should get you like an Eskimo jacket. I'm sorry, I can't say Eskimo. That's offensive. An Inuit. We should
Indigenous.
Get you an Inuit.
Indigenous, not Inuit. That's offensive too.
Inuits. God damn it! I just started using that word like last year. I can't even say Inuit now.
Indigenous peoples.
Fucking Eskimos. I'm fucking calling them Eskimos.
I don't care. A cracker. You can call me poor white trash. I don't care. It ain't gonna affect what I do at night.
What if somebody calls you a bad lay?
I still had fun.
I like how you turned that around on them.
Yeah.
I had this chick one time who complained that she thought I was impotent, right? She told her friend that she shouldn't go out with me because I couldn't get it up for her. And then I finally lost it one day. I'm like, you know what? Maybe if you didn't take off your clothes and have a giant bush, we wouldn't have to worry about my dick going limp. All right? Because you should fucking tame that Wolverine.
Oh, God.
And then years later, when her nickname became the Wolverine, and local wrestler, Eric Cannon, the Anarchist, he came up to me at an MPW show one time because my friend Brandon wrestled for them under the name Kid Crazy. So Cannon walks up, he's like, oh, I've been backstage listening to a story about how much you love the Wolverine. And I just couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, God, that's hilarious. And I'm going to have to explain to the chick that I'm here with.
Oh,
That's offensive to women. That's their choice to have pubic hair. That hurts. I have to get offended for somebody else. Doesn't that piss you off? People get offended for other people?
Oh, yeah. The SJWs. Social justice warriors.
Fucking A.
You know, half the dudes that are doing that are just trying to get laid.
So did you see this? I don't know who the hell came up with this shit. This news about Adolf Hitler yesterday.
The micro penis?
Yes, okay, good. You
The
read it.
micro mutilated penis.
Like his fucking pee hole was underneath his dick instead of like on the tip. And then he had an undescended testicle, and that's why they're blaming him for being so angry.
Some angry Jew.
Somewhere, somebody is like, that's offensive. You can't... Clearly, he had deeper issues than having a weird penis. That is the... Think of all the people that died in the Holocaust, and you think they died because of his weird mutant penis? No. He had hatred in his heart. How dare you trivialize their genocide? All because a guy had a nut inside of his body and a weird pee hole.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, there's somebody else getting fucking offended for everybody. How dare you? God damn it. And heaven forbid you make fun of people on food stamps. The fact that you could take your EBT card and fucking get cigarettes and shit with it. And all kinds of other stupid crap. And then use it like a cash card at certain ATMs.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So you make fun of that shit. And someone somewhere will be like, you shouldn't make fun of poor people. They can't help. Well, I think they can. I think you can get a fucking job somewhere. You start out with a shitty job, and then you get a better job, and you get better,
people
and you
on
get some
that
skills.
do you think are on that legitimately, like percentage-wise?
Well,
Are legitimately using them
35
as a stepping stone?
35 to
fucking get off of
40%.
them?
35 to 40%.
You think it's that high?
Because a lot of people in the middle class, like the lower middle class, are getting pinched by the cost of healthcare. So then you talk about the people that are misusing it because they have cards in different states, and they have like 9 family members, and they all fucking magically get $200 or $300 a month.
Right.
But they've got like a brand new pair of Air Jordans on and a goddamn iPhone 6.
Yeah, I think I'd probably say there's about 10%. See, the people who really need it don't even qualify for it because they aren't completely homeless. You know, they're living with somebody, and that somebody may make, you know, a good living, but that person has nothing to do with the person that's applying for these benefits.
This is true.
But because the household income is whatever the fuck it is, this person isn't going to get, you know, even though they have nothing to do with this other person, they're living there to not be homeless. And the government says, well, the household income is blah, blah, blah. You don't qualify.
I'm shaking my head. You can't see me shake my head. I'm
Again,
shaking my head.
I think a lot of the people who should be using it and deserve to be using it aren't allowed to use it. Like, you basically...
My ex is on WIC.
I don't know what your ex's situation is. Where's she living? She live on her own?
Yeah, she rents a house with her friend, Paige.
So you pay for rent.
I pay $300 towards the rent.
So she rents a house with a friend?
Uh-huh. They're both on WIC.
What is she? Well, she has... You guys got 50-50, right?
Yeah.
What does she do for a living?
She's a waitress.
That's why. She can claim she doesn't make jack shit.
Right.
You know, she probably makes tips. And
Oh.
I'm sure her friend...
Is also a waitress.
So they both put together don't make jack shit. That's why they get to do it.
That's the fucked up thing, though.
But the thing is they could be making $200 a night in tips.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need it, you know?
She would always talk about, like, fuck your job. I could get an X amount of dollar an hour job like that. Look at what I made last night. I worked this many hours and I made $300, but I made fucking $16 an hour. You did that like one night a week. I get paid that rate hourly. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, but let's not mock single mothers because somebody somewhere understands the struggle of all hardworking single mothers. There's not a single mother out there, not one of them, that is just out there spreading their cheeks all over town to get dicked so they can keep pooping out kids for more goddamn money from their baby daddies. That would be trivializing women's struggle. It's wrong.
That's kind of creepy.
God damn it.
That wasn't right. You gotta do it again. That wasn't the right tone.
God damn it.
That's closer.
Wait, what do you mean? You're telling me I'm not... you weren't even there. I told the story.
No, but I'm referencing the first story.
We
I
are.
remember how it sounded.
I'm referencing my youngest. Whispering things.
More fucking gusto.
God damn it.
Oh, that's
No. Well, we've run out of steam, so let's wrap this one up. So we will point out that our new page, and there's going to be a lot less shit to say at the end of episodes now. What do we call it? Podcast.libsyn.com.
And subscribe to us on YouTube. We only got 8 subscribers. There's 2 people in the group now?
Yes.
And we have 8 subscribers on YouTube.
So
if you guys want me to keep putting it on YouTube, it's got to be more than 8 people who subscribe. It takes a lot of fucking time and effort to fuck with that YouTube shit.
Right, Libsyn, we're just uploading MP3s now. It's fucking simple.
Yes. It's fucking way simple. Basically, I just put the shit to Libsyn, and Libsyn distributes it amongst its drones. Libsyn is the mothership. Thanks to Josh from 93X The Morning Show for the shout-out again this morning.
And I'm going to give a shout-out of my own to Lunchbox from Genre Treason. And let's give shout-outs to Scott Doucette from Podcast Discovery Center on Facebook. And what's that Anthony dude's name?
Hayes?
Anthony Hayes from Me, Myself, and I podcast.
Yes.
We'll end it on a warm and fuzzy with a Brotherhood 2000 plus 16. I'm J-Man.
I'm Danny.
And that's the end.